Today is Tuesday, May 30th. We'll tell you about a breakthrough in the debt limit debate, what's included in the deal both President Biden and House Speaker Kevin McCarthy signed off on, and what has to happen next to avoid a default. Also, which state just impeached its well-known attorney general and why lawmakers from his same party voted against him. Plus, a new warning about artificial sweeteners, why one major insurance company is starting to cut ties with California, and how the live-action Little Mermaid did at the box office. Those stories and more news to know in today's episode. Welcome to The Newsworthy. All the day's news in around 10 minutes. Fast, fair, fun, and on the go. I'm Erica Mandy. Thanks so much for being here. You ready? Let's do this. With just days left to avoid a first-ever default, President Biden and House Speaker Kevin McCarthy have reached a deal. In principle, anyway. But now, the rest of Congress has to get on board. So what's in the agreement exactly? Well, the main part of it is a 2-year suspension on the debt ceiling. That would let the government keep borrowing money and pay its bills on time, assuming the House and Senate sign off before the U.S. runs out of cash. In exchange for suspending the debt ceiling, President Biden agreed to limit federal spending over the next 2 years, something Republicans said was a must. Plus, the deal would take funding away from the IRS and change work requirements for food stamps. Now, Biden and McCarthy are presenting the deal to their own parties. But already they're facing some headwinds. Some conservative Republicans say they'll vote against it because it doesn't go far enough to limit federal spending. And some liberal Democrats say the spending limits are too steep. Still, the House is expected to vote on the bill as soon as tomorrow. Then, assuming it passes, it will move on to the Senate. So stay tuned. In a historic vote, the Republican-led Texas House overwhelmingly decided to impeach the state's Republican Attorney General. And with that, the AG, Ken Paxton, was suspended right away. This came less than a week after an investigating committee said it was looking into Paxton for what members described as a years-long pattern of misconduct, including bribery and abuse of office. They presented the case against him on Saturday. Paxton calls the whole impeachment a politically motivated sham and says it keeps him from protecting Texans from the federal government. Former President Trump slammed the impeachment proceedings as an attempt to unseat who he called the most hardworking and effective attorney general. Few attorneys general have been as prominent as Paxton, who has made a career out of suing the Obama and Biden administrations, in some cases overturning or blocking major policies, particularly on immigration. He also famously sued to challenge the 2020 presidential election results, but that challenge was not successful. Now it's on to the Senate trial, which will happen before the end of summer. If 2/3 of senators decide he's guilty, Paxton will be permanently removed from office, and he won't be allowed to hold a state-elected office in the future. Though if the Senate votes to acquit him, Paxton will go right back to the job. Already, the AG has been reelected twice, even though he has been charged with felony securities fraud, and he's been the subject of an ongoing investigation into allegations of official misconduct. Paxton is the first Texas Attorney General to be impeached. For now, no comment from the Texas governor. Well, unfortunately, we have to tell you about a mass shooting in the middle of a popular tourist destination. 9 people were shot on a boardwalk, including 3 children, near a busy area of the beach in Hollywood, Florida. That's between Miami and Fort Lauderdale. At last check, they were all in the hospital, though it's not clear exactly how badly injured they are. Authorities say the shooting started at 6:30 last night near a Ben & Jerry's ice cream store and a Subway sandwich shop, all because of a fight between 2 groups. They have 1 person of interest in custody, but they're looking for another suspect now. Russia launched its largest drone attack yet, and it comes more than 15 months into its invasion of Ukraine. The capital of Kyiv was hit especially hard. Ukraine says Russia deployed 54 drones over the course of 5 hours, and most, but not all, were shot down. Experts say that's actually what Russia wants to happen. They tell the Wall Street Journal the strategy is to exhaust Ukraine's air defenses by launching waves of cheap drones from Iran. They're apparently easy to get, but expensive for Ukraine to shoot down, using advanced air defense systems from the West. And the idea is, if Ukraine's stockpile is depleted, future cruise missile attacks might be more effective. But Ukraine is still planning to start its counteroffensive too, meant to retake land Russia captured throughout the war. Ukraine has been planning it for months, but the BBC says it has wanted as much time as possible to train troops and to receive military equipment from allies. Well, the famous Grand Canal in Venice, Italy, looks much different than usual. It's a fluorescent green color, and for a couple of days, officials had no idea why. Well, after investigating, authorities say the color changed because of a substance used for testing wastewater networks. And it's not supposed to be toxic. The last time the canal was dyed green, it was part of a climate protest back in 1968. And some officials thought environmental activists could be behind this change again until the samples came back, confirming the truth. We have much more news for you still ahead. But first, a quick break for our sponsor, HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit. And I'm really excited to tell you about their new fast and fresh options that are ready in just 15 minutes or less. I recently tried this, and it really works well for our family during the week when we all feel a bit tight on time, but we still want to have a nice homemade dinner together with the whole family. So, for example, I made their chicken and tomato grain bowls with garlicky white sauce and lemon. It was so good. My whole family ate it up, and my husband even commented that making it seemed so much easier and faster. Plus, there are so many options of meals for whatever your lifestyle is. From fit and wholesome to pescatarian to veggie, they have a meal plan that suits your preferences. And from what I've tried, they're all delicious. And by the way, Green Chef is now owned by HelloFresh, so no matter which you do, there's something for everyone. So go to HelloFresh.com/newsworthy16, and you can use that code newsworthy16 for 16 free meals plus free shipping. Again, go to HelloFresh.com/newsworthy16 and use that code newsworthy16 for 16 free meals plus free shipping. Stormy weather really put a damper on plans for people who wanted to spend the holiday weekend on East Coast beaches. They faced heavy rain, gusty winds, and a rough surf from parts of the Southeast to the Carolinas. Dozens of people had to be rescued from the oceans over the weekend. At least one swimmer is still missing after disappearing off the coast of Jacksonville Beach in Florida. A Carnival cruise ship also got caught in wild weather before docking in Charleston, South Carolina. Passengers told CBS News water was pouring into rooms and hallways, windows were shattered, and the ship was rocking violently. Carnival says some people did need a little assistance from medical staff, but that everyone made it off safely. The ship has since started another cruise with some of the cabins out of service. Now this storm system has moved north, and more thunderstorms are expected today along the coasts of Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, and North Carolina. The top homeowners insurance company in California is not taking any more new customers. State Farm says it will not accept new applications for either home or business insurance in California. The company cites a higher risk of catastrophes like wildfires, as well as high construction costs. Nearly 25,000 homes have reportedly been destroyed by massive fires there in just the last 5 years. Thousands more have been badly damaged. And the California Department of Insurance expects even more widespread damage in the years ahead. If you are already a State Farm customer in California, you shouldn't be impacted, and the company will keep offering auto insurance. By the way, this is just the latest insurance company to make this move. The American International Group also pulled policies in the state because of wildfire concerns. And it's not just California. Some insurers pulled out of Louisiana and Florida last year when forecasters warned of another active Atlantic hurricane season. Artificial sweeteners might be popular, but now the World Health Organization is advising against using sugar substitutes like Splenda, stevia, and Sweet 'n Low. It says when people choose the alternatives in the long term, they don't lower body fat in either adults or children, and they could actually increase the risk of type 2 diabetes and heart disease. The WHO says it came up with this recommendation by reviewing hundreds of studies measuring the health effects of sugar substitutes on different people. And they say the only exception to the guidance is people who already have type 2 diabetes. Though the International Sweeteners Association says it's disappointed with these conclusions, it says low and no-calorie sweeteners are, quote, one of the most thoroughly researched ingredients in the world and continue to be a helpful tool to manage obesity, diabetes, and dental diseases. Either way, the recommendation from the WHO does not directly impact any country's policies. The world's most valuable chip maker is now looking to capitalize on the artificial intelligence frenzy. Nvidia unveiled a new batch of AI products and services today. Perhaps the biggest one is an AI supercomputer platform. It will apparently help tech companies create their own successors to ChatGPT. Bloomberg says Microsoft, Meta, and Google are expected to be among the first users. It's going to cost hundreds of millions of dollars and should be at least partly operational by the end of this year. The company also unveiled a new robotics platform to help companies build their own robots, new gaming capabilities that will use AI to give background characters more personality, and more. Already, Nvidia has been reporting huge sales for data center chips that handle AI tasks, and that has sent the company's stock to a record high. It was a busy few days for movie theaters, welcoming crowds of families for one highly anticipated new release. Disney's live-action version of The Little Mermaid earned $117.5 million in the U.S. and Canada over the Memorial Day weekend. That makes it the fifth highest Memorial Day weekend opening of all time. Of course, this is just the latest Disney classic to go live-action. Others include Beauty and the Beast, The Lion King, Dumbo, Mulan, Aladdin, Pinocchio, and more. And another one is already in the works. Disney recently announced a live-action Aristocats, directed by Oscar-winning director and Roots drummer Questlove. So far, there's no release date for that one. This summer, though, other highly anticipated movies set for release include a new Spider-Man, a new Transformers, another Mission Impossible, and a new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's it for the main news today, so now it's time for Trivia Tuesday, when we ask a different trivia question every week. But first, this episode is sponsored by Athletic Greens. Their nutritional drink, AG1, has become part of my morning routine. I first gave AG1 a try because I was talking with Athletic Greens about partnering, and I wanted to make sure I actually liked it. Well, now I take AG1 every day before I eat anything else, and I was actually surprised at how quickly I started noticing a difference. It makes me feel ready to take on the day. I feel a boost in energy. I find myself not reaching for coffee or tea quite as often. If you're not familiar, AG1 can replace a lot of other supplements like a daily multivitamin, minerals, pre- and probiotics for gut health, adaptogens, and a greens blend, and you get it all in just one scoop of powder. I always put it in ice water with a splash of lemon juice, mix, and I'm good to go. If you're looking for a simpler and cost-effective supplement routine, Athletic Greens is giving you a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. So go to athleticgreens.com/newsworthy. That's athleticgreens.com/newsworthy. Check it out. Okay, now back to Trivia Tuesday. Today's trivia question is, how many seasons did the Oprah Winfrey Show run? You can play along with us in our weekly roundup email that comes out each Friday. Simply sign up to get it at thenewsworthy.com/email or find the link in today's episode notes. As for last week's trivia question, what book holds the record for the fastest-selling book in history? The answer is Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. It sold 8.3 million copies on the very first day of its release here in the U.S. Of course, all the Harry Potter books have been hugely successful. Collectively, they've sold more than 600 million copies, making them the best-selling series of all time. It's been translated into 73 languages and adapted into 8 hugely popular movies. Plus, there have been spin-off books and movies, an amusement park, conventions, an international sporting competition, and tons of merchandise. Overall, the world of Harry Potter has grown to be worth tens of billions of dollars. And author J.K. Rowling is the world's first billionaire author. All right, thank you so much for listening today and making us part of your routine. We'll be back with much more news to know tomorrow. For now, have a great day.